Hello everyone, this is Jason from Primetime Aquatics, and in this video I wanted to bring to you some of our favorite tanks and some tanks that you've been asking to see for a while, and that is the 50 gallon Lowboy multi-tank right behind me and the 40 gallon breeder update on that multi-colony as well. So I'm going to show you those two. Let's go take a look at some multis. So here we go. This is the multi-tank. This is one of two. This is our 50 gallon Lowboy that many people ask to see periodically, and so here it is. This is kind of the view we get when we're walking into the fish room. Now this 50 gallon Lowboy, sometimes people ask what the dimensions are, and this is a 4-foot tank. It's 24 inches wide and it's only 10 inches tall, so this is a great tank for multis and for shell dwellers in general, which tend to stay near the bottom of the tank. So they like a lot of area, but they don't need a lot of three-dimensional space in terms of height. So this tank works out really well. Now there are hundreds and hundreds of multis in here, and we've pulled out many hundreds to sell at swaps and auctions. No, we don't sell online, but we do sell locally. And this tank has been super productive for us. It's a really fun tank to watch. As you can see, there's a lot of action going on. I think that's one of the cool things about multis is the community dynamics. They've always got something to do. They always look busy. They're rearranging the sand, they're caring for their offspring, they're communicating with one another, and it's just a lot of fun to watch. And if you're looking for a tank where the fish aren't overly aggressive, but yet there's a lot of interaction between them, this is definitely a fish to consider. As you can see, the colors are pretty cool. They've got kind of that light silver with the light barring and the really pretty blue eyes, which I'm going to show you in a few minutes. Now, one of the things that we do is we add hornwort to a lot of our tanks. That's the green floating plant that you see. And in multi-tanks, that serves a couple purposes. One, it allows us to give the fish a little bit more security in their environment. I think that's one of the reasons why they like to come out more. And two, it removes some of the nitrates that are in the water. And this stuff grows really fast, so we can take it out, put it in other tanks. But this is a really good plant to have with shell dwellers, in my opinion. They don't eat it, but it does help give the tank a little bit of greenery, and it helps keep the fish secure. Now you can see here we've got a lot of shells. There are a lot of pockets, as we're going to see in a moment, where there's babies everywhere. And by the way, if you want a more detailed video on how to care for multis, how to breed them, I will put that in the upper right hand corner. I will also put that in the description below. That is a really good video to check out if you're looking for very detailed information. This is more of just an update of what's been going on with this tank over the last 4 years or so. Now this tank only has 2 sponge filters running right now, and it's got one Phoenix 4-foot Phoenix Stingray light, so that's kind of the hardware that we've got associated with this tank, and it's worked out very well for us. As you can see, everybody seems to be happy and healthy. So this is the 50 gallon Lowboy. I love this tank. It's been one of my favorite tanks since we set up the fish room. Now I wanted to take you over, and I also wanted to show you the 40 gallon breeder that we did, where we pulled about a dozen of these fish out of this tank, and we started a second colony for 2 reasons. One, we wanted to make sure that if something ever happened to this colony, we still had some in another location, and 2, we wanted to breed even more of them, so we needed some more space. As you can see, we've got a lot of offspring in this tank, and we wanted to provide a second tank for there to be even more multi-babies. And this is the 40 gallon breeder multi-tank that we set up a while back. Maybe it was about 4 to 8 weeks ago. I don't remember exactly, but it's starting to kind of take a life of its own, as tanks do. And you'll see a little bit of algae in various places, and that's not a huge concern for us, because as the tank kind of works its way through its growth stages, if you will, maturity stages, that algae will be under control. Again, one of the things that we did in this tank is recently added some hornwort at the top, and that's going to alleviate some of those issues by reducing the food sources for the algae. We also put a bristlenose pleco in here. There's one in the 50 gallon Lowboy as well, and for the most part the multis leave it alone. We've had good luck with that combination, so that bristlenose has done a pretty good job of keeping the algae in check. Again, we put about 12 multis in this tank. We put some shells all over the place, and when we first set the tank up, I mentioned that was probably the last time it was going to look pristine, and of course the multis did what multis do, and that is they rearranged the substrate, they started burying shells, and you can see even the rocks have a little bit of algae on them, which we're perfectly fine with. Like I said, once that hornwort starts to grow, the likelihood that that algae continues to grow is going to be pretty minimal. Now we haven't had any offspring yet. A lot of times we get questions, hey, I got some multis and I put them in a tank, when can I expect to start seeing fry? In my experience, it usually takes somewhere between 4 to 6 weeks, maybe longer, maybe even 8 weeks before you start seeing fry, provided that you have, of course, both males and females. But if you do, it takes them a little while to get situated. It takes them a little while to build up their neighborhoods and to spawn and to have those fry actually be visible in the tank. So be patient with them. If you have the males, which are going to be larger than the females, a little bit more colorful, you will eventually get fry, provided that your water parameters are conducive for their growth. So for us, it's perfect because we have a higher pH, we have high water hardness, and that's what these fish like, being from Lake Tanganyika. And sometimes people ask what we feed these fish, especially with so many fry. We always feed our Maltese live baby brine. They get it twice a day, but they get more than that. We've been feeding a lot of Northfin foods. Northfin is a sponsor of our channel, but we feed them the community flake, the cichlid flake. They've got the smaller cichlid and community pellets that they really like. They also really go crazy for the Northfin Bug Pro, which is a really good food that they enjoy. But the combination of those foods and definitely the live baby brine does an awesome job. So I want to thank you for watching. If you want more information on Maltese, check out that video in the upper right hand corner. If you want more information on Shellies in general, video in the lower right hand corner. Thanks for watching.